Two of the most dangerous men participating in combat sports today are UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou and WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury. Both men, giants in their own right, have climbed their way to the top of their respective sports. And as much as a fight between them gets everyone's attention, the fact that they do compete in different sports makes their fight very unlikely to happen. First, Francis better keep his focus directly in front of him. Fortunately for fight fans everywhere, UFC 270 will feature the heavyweight challenge by one of his former teammates out of Paris, Francis Ngannou. Ngannou's win over Derrick Lewis crowned him the interim heavyweight champion of the UFC, a controversial title due to the fact that Francis had won the undisputed championship only 4.5 months earlier when he knocked out Stipe Miocic. Regardless of how legit the interim championship belt is, Ngannou, on the other hand, is certified legit at 10 wins with 0 losses. If Francis doesn't keep his attention on Ngannou, it won't be long until he loses that belt. UFC 270 is scheduled for January 22nd, 2022, and will have an incredible main event between an undefeated challenger in Ciryl Gane and the hardest hitter to ever grace the octagon in Francis Ngannou. Next, Fury's fight with Dillian Whyte is still being negotiated. Whyte is the WBC's mandatory title challenger, and at 28 wins with only 2 losses while holding the interim WBC heavyweight belt, he's already in negotiations to make the fight. Regardless of the controversy surrounding the 80-20 per split, it seems as though the fight will be pushed through one way or another. The fight makes sense on so many levels, from both men being British to the simple fact that it would be a belt unification match. If this fight does fall through, there's always Anthony Joshua matchup waiting to be made to secure Fury's legacy. It seems that Fury should keep his attention on heavyweight boxers before looking to do a boxing MMA crossover fight with Francis Ngannou. Up next, there is definitely always a chance the two end up fighting. If we were to buy into the hype started through social media when Fury posted a picture of himself and Ngannou with the caption, "Who would like to see me fight this beast in boxing rules with UFC gloves?" There are few things that make the fight a possibility. One of these things is the fact that Ngannou is on the last fight of his contract, and if he were to lose to Gane come January 22nd, he would become a restricted free agent. However, if he does win, the contract's automatically extended through a championship clause. Francis has also expressed interest in making a run in the boxing circuit, stating, "Remember, boxing was my primary dream, and I still have the fire, the dream inside me, and I believe at some point I'm gonna make the step." When asked about who he would like to fight, he did name drop Tyson Fury as well. After wrapping up a training session with Stockton's Nick Diaz, Tyson Fury told TMZ that he was confident the fight would take place. However, big stars say a lot of things to capture headlines. Maybe it'll happen sometime long down the road, but we still think the chances are pretty slim. In other boxing news, Filip Hrgović and Tony Yoka set to fight in heavyweight eliminator. Hrgović has had a difficult time finding an opponent after fights with Luis Ortiz and Joseph Parker never came to fruition. Thankfully, Yoka said yes just 3 days before the deadline. The two have fought before at the 2016 Rio Olympics, with Yoka coming out with his hands raised and thus winning the gold at Rio. Hrgović, on the other hand, took bronze. The winner of this rematch will fight for the belt against either Alexander Usyk or Anthony Joshua, depending on who has the belt after their fight later this year. The IBF has a stacked lineup of heavyweights fighting each other for the belt in the very near future. Steve Gefford gets a late call to fight for the WBO light heavyweight championship. Only a week before he got the call, Gefford was preparing to weigh in for a fight in Florida. He quickly changed plans when Callum Johnson contracted COVID-19 and was forced to drop out of his fight with Joe Smith Jr. Gefford and Smith Jr. will now face off for the WBO light heavyweight championship belt at Turning Stone Resort Casino in Verona, New York. Lennox Lewis pokes fun at Tyson Fury in a recent tweet. "It seems that every generation in boxing has something to say about the new generation, and following this tradition, Lennox Lewis, who is one of the great fighters of the modern boxing heavyweight era and is arguably one of the best boxers of all time, posted a tweet comparing Tyson Fury's physique to that of Wilder and Klitschko. It reads, "Explaining the heavyweight division to non-boxing people is a real treat." It then shows pictures of the 3 men where Tyson's out of shape and the other 2 are weighing in, commenting that Tyson still beat the other 2 men in the ring. Lewis's funny quip, alluding to the fact that having a six-pack doesn't make a good boxer, is a great commentary on the current state of the heavyweight division. Don King puts together a night to be remembered. On Saturday, January 29th in Warren, Ohio, at the W.D. Packard Music Hall, there will be a total of 6 championship fights. The co-main event features Ilunga Makabu defending his WBC World Cruiserweight Championship against Thabiso Mchunu, while the other half of the co-main event will have Trevor Bryan defending his WBA heavyweight belt against Jonathan Guidry. The winner of Makabu and Mchunu will go on to face none other than Mexican superstar Canelo Alvarez. The WBA heavyweight champion Trevor Bryan of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, will put his belt on the line fighting Jonathan Guidry of Tulsa, Louisiana. Besides these 2 title fights, there will be 4 NABA titles fought for on the rest of the card. The NABA Gold Heavyweight Championship sees Alonzo Butler from Chattanooga, Tennessee, brawling it out with Ahmed Hefny from from Egypt, but fighting out of Queens, New York. The NABA Cruiserweight title fight features Johnny Langston fighting out of Sarasota, Florida, and Nick Kisner out of Baltimore, Maryland. Cody Wilson of West Virginia will face Trayshawn Wiggins from Newburgh, New York for the NABA Welterweight Championship, and the sixth and last title fight of the night will see the Open NABA Middleweight Championship contested by Michael Moore of Cleveland, Ohio, and Anthony Link of Niagara Falls, New York. The night should be a spectacular night of boxing thanks to the legendary promoter himself, Mr. Don King. Jake Paul earned a whopping $40 million in the ring last year, although he did get a few chuckles recently when comparing himself to the likes of Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, and Floyd Mayweather. It's no laughing matter that he managed to pull in a reported $40 million in revenue for his 3 wins in boxing this year. This ranks him at number 20 of the highest paid athletes this year according to Forbes. Along with the $5 million he made in other revenue streams, he's the number 2 highest paid YouTube star of 2021. This is a huge 180 for Paul, who back in 2018 had his YouTube channel demonetized amid controversy with his brother. One thing's for sure, and that's he's bringing in a bunch of new fans to the sport of boxing, and everyone will be better off financially in the boxing world for it. Famed Canton-born fighter Marion Connor dies at 81. Connor, who fought the likes of Joe Frazier and was an 11 times Golden Gloves champion boxer, was born in Canton in 1940. The one-time Ohio heavyweight champion made his debut in 1962 and retired in 1976, the year he fought fellow Cantonian and Olympic gold medalist Ronnie Harris in the Bicentennial Battle of 1976, which Harris won. Rhonda Connor has publicly praised her father, saying he loved family, he was all about family. He also loved the community. He will be missed by family and boxing fans alike. Mayweather plans to open 500 boxing and fitness centers across the U.S. Mayweather opened another one of his planned 500 facilities in Hyde Park on Saturday, January 15, 2022. The gym will feature classes at every level for boxing fans to get some of the Mayweather experience for a reasonable price. The franchise owner, Danny Calhoun, says the prices are affordable. Remember, if you're buying a Lamborghini, you're not going to get it for dirt cheap, but this price is right in between. It's a good sweet spot for something with the quality of a Lamborghini. One hopes that the gym will hold up to this level of quality. We'll have to wait and see. There is much to be excited about in the world of boxing, but it seems that a crossover bout between Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury is unlikely. Although the fighting world has brought us many bouts lately that were thought to be unlikely matches, so never say never. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll come back for all your boxing and combat sports news. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.